New York City is now launching this pilot program of portable gun scanners throughout the subway system. It's not without controversy, though. We're bringing in former NYPD Chief Wilbur Chapman. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Natasha.
I do want to start with Officer Jonathan Diller. It was an incredibly emotional eulogy from his wife today, and she says that he wouldn't have sugarcoated it, so she won't either, that this is just devastating. It seems that he was shot during a routine traffic stop. What does his death say to you about the risks of serving as an officer today?
Well, let me start by offering my deepest condolences to the family of Detective First Grade Jonathan Diller, who paid the ultimate sacrifice that a police officer can pay, dying in the line of duty, protecting the people of the city of New York. Car stops are a very problematic issue in policing. They can go from anywhere from the mundane to, as you saw in this instance, the loss of life of a police officer. They are unpredictable because you know there's a vehicle, but you don't know what the occupants and in the vehicle are capable of. So it is an area of precariousness for a police officer approaching such a vehicle, because you don't know whether you're approaching a car who has a suspected criminal, as these gentlemen were, or someone who's just going home from work. So it shows the dangerousness of policing, number one. But it also shows how dangerous policing is, and the general disregard that some people have for the institutions of government and police officers in general. If it turns out that police officers aren't safe, none of us in society are safe.
Yeah, and I do appreciate you pointing that out. He was posthumously promoted to Detective First Grade on Saturday. You know, the NYPD is the largest police force in the country. He is the first NYPD officer to be killed in the line of duty in 2 years. Do you believe that his death is a tragic, isolated incident, or are you concerned about a trend of violence and attacks while on the job?
Well, no death of a police officer can be considered an isolated incident. It's a major tragedy. It's an attack on society. And it's a grave situation for Stephanie Diller, who loses her husband, and Brian, who will never know who his father is. And for the rest of us in policing, both active and retired, it hits at the heart of the matter. Policing is a noble profession. It is a dangerous profession. And people who have no respect for the law have no respect for other human beings. And being a police officer just means that you're a target for any individual who would be involved in lawlessness.
Yeah, I think his wife spoke about that in the eulogy today, how he really laid down his life for his community and this job that he was doing. While we have you at the time we have, there's one more topic. I want to get your insight into violence in New York subway system, the new pilot program. There have been 2 recent high-profile shootings. This announcement of a new pilot program comes after a fatal shove on Monday. This program will deploy portable gun scanners that use AI technology to detect guns. Civil rights groups, it's controversial. They're concerned about the AI tech. The company behind it, Evolve, apparently their AI tech is right about 70%. It's right 70% of the time in detecting guns. So these groups are saying false alarms can induce panic and create a situation that could risk loss of life. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, there's no substitute for a trained, well-seasoned police officer assigned to a transit facility, one of the 472 train stations we have, and riding the trains regularly to provide an environment of safety for those who use the subways. Technology is a wonderful auxiliary apparatus in terms of policing, but it doesn't replace the fact that the primary focus of policing is to prevent crimes. You want the riders to get on the train and get off safely. Having these devices that have 70% effectiveness, bag searches, which people were supposed to voluntarily submit to, doesn't get it done. What gets it done is having police officers there who are familiar with the station, where the entrances and exits are, where the platform is most vulnerable for people to be attacked, understanding the fact that when you're riding the train as a police officer, you have to be aware of not only the homeless and those who are mentally ill who are there, but anyone who might engage in lawlessness. It's a difficult practice and it requires expertise. And the only way to reduce crime in the subway is to put officers there on a dedicated basis who understand the system and will protect the riders.
Yeah, Wilbur Chapman, always appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.